Mute my coughing when I can.
That was the first thing that people are going to hear.
Fuck that.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Riding with Xortz. Here in Everlook in the lovely winter spring because, well, winter is here. I say lovely, but let's face it, winter is a bitch who should never be allowed into your town. Just saying. And tonight, when she gets here, is my buddy Seiwind is gonna be taking a ride with us. Oh, there you are, you sneaky sneak.
Well, yeah, doing, rogue things.
Rogue things.
Yeah, sneaky, sneaky, stabby, stabby.
So long as you're not stabbing me.
No,
Ready for
just
this?
Ferris. I'm ready.
All right, let's go ahead and get you. There we go. Ta-da! Don't ask questions,
Yes.
just get in the bike, and away we go.
Never ask
So, whoa,
questions.
door. Okay. Am I going the right way? Cross country. We'll do cross country. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So, what's going on? How you been?
Been pretty good. Just, the work thing, as usual.
Yeah.
Lots of the work thing.
So, tell us a little bit about Say here. What's her story?
Seiwind was kind of made out of, actually, the weirdest thing out of drama. She was made out of drama. The person that she was prior to this was a woman named Penumbra. And Penumbra, I had a few altercations with out of characterly with people to the point to where I kind of killed the character off. That being said, I still really liked the premise of the character because I really enjoyed her, but I wanted to make somebody a bit more serious, a bit more cold-hearted, because Penumbra was very fun-loving. She was very inviting to people, and she generally tried to think the better of people. So I decided to kind of take that same concept of the rogue, but just invert it. So I decided to myself, well, what if Penumbra taught somebody everything she knew? And therefore came up with Say.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And yeah, I think Say's like my fourth WoW character that I ever made.
I think Xortz is like my third or something. He was just like a little joke character I made, and now he's kind of taken on a life of his own in his own way, here and there.
Which is good.
Yeah. My main, on the other hand, we all know Say would like to stick a knife in his eye.
Yeah. She just tends to think that he's got the right idea for what he does, but in some aspects, he's an idiot, and she doesn't quite like that idiot factor. Well, to her, idiot factor, where, as you and I both know, that Tavares is very, very smart. He's very, he's got a brilliant mind. He really does. But to say some of his things are questionable.
She wants to kill him. She just wants to kill him. Let's just admit it.
Just one little stab. Just one little stab.
One little stab.
In the jugular. But,
Yeah, Sorry, kid. You're an orphan now.
It's okay. Say's like, I was an orphan too. It's not so bad.
Yeah, the kid would still have his ma, so.
Yeah, true.
And Say wasn't too keen on Ty's sister either.
There were things about Desabra she liked. She liked her rather ruthless nature, because Say thinks that there's not enough people in the world that kind of have that ruthlessness. Because, Say's kind of, I wouldn't call her an anarchist, but she's of that strong belief that there's no such thing as peace, because she's noticed, and this kind of goes out of character too, like between the downtime between releasing expansions, so there's like nothing, and people consider that, like peaceful time for RP and stuff like that. But in Seywind's mind, that's the time to prepare, because she's noticed whenever these peaceful times come, there's always something bigger that comes afterwards. So she prefers to keep people on their feet so that they're not, slacking about whenever this bad stuff does go down.
Yeah, not bad. I wonder, I'm just kind of curious, like, is Say going to be reveling in this whole Burning Legion invasion? Because she's got some questionable alliances there.
Well, Save was a cultist at one point. The Twilight, cultist, the good people, that are like, ooh, old gods are great. Eh. I'm not sure if she's actually going to be too thrilled to see about the whole Legion thing coming back. If anything, I think she might refer to her husband because he's a warlock and be like, what the fuck do we need to do to like end this
Mm.
like quickly and painlessly? Because she now has other things that she never thought she would have to worry about, which is a family.
Yes.
And you're riding towards an alliance base. I hope you
Oh,
know
okay. Well, I'll just...
that. So yeah.
I think I came through here once in my entire leveling experience on anybody. So it's like, oh, okay, I think I'll just see what's this way. Oh, there's an alliance base? I don't mind, I'm up for an adventure on these things, but not that.
Exactly.
So, alright.
But the quest line's pretty good out here. Like at one point, you actually do get to meet with a demon hunter.
Mm.
That's not Illidan, because you actually have to hunt him down, and then you find out he's actually the good guy. So it's part of when they did that whole revamp back in Kata of some of the quest areas.
Yep.
This was one of them, and I still like that quest. Even when I level in alts, I'm like, ooh, I got to do this one.
Yeah, there's always that one quest that it doesn't matter how many times you do it, you always got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Because the demon hunter guy takes you like through some bits of the past, and you actually end up helping Illidan in these vision things. It's kind of cool. I like it.
Might have to steer through here on another character sometime. So, what would you say your favorite thing about Sei is?
Wow, I've never actually been asked that. I like how she's somewhat disconnected from everything, not in a emotional sense, but more of a worldly sense. Like Koros, her husband, is technically a noble, but she really doesn't care for nobles. She just it's not a hatred thing. She's just never seen the point in them because to say all they pretty much do is sit around and bicker and talk about their families and are very focused on themselves. She detaches herself from mostly anything with the Horde because as of recent, the events with Garrosh and everything like that, she's kind of like, we've really got nothing to be proud of. I mean, this whole thing with Vol'jin taking over, that's been a different story, but it's still kind of like, well, it's kind of got to prove itself again.
Yeah.
So she stays disconnected and just loyal to what she knows is that, in her mind, anybody that uses the shadows like she does is somebody that could possibly be an ally. She hates paladins, mostly for the light aspect, and anything that does use light, she calls them light suckers because it's, it goes back to that. If something's too good to be true, chances are it is too good, and there's some sort of bad flaw in there.
Interesting. Now, has she had a bad experience with paladins, or is it just the fact they're paladins?
It's just the fact that they use the light. To her, the light is more of a crutch. Whereas the shadows are more of a something you have to control, something you have to be in touch with. And granted, the same thing can be said for people that use the light, but Sei just doesn't see it as that only because she's never had that connection. She's never been around much of anybody except for one person, which is actually a human, named Alessandro Mares, that she's somewhat seen the good the light can do, but she's still kind of, it's like, that's nice, kid. You have fun with that.
If you could change one thing about Sei, what would you change?
Make her a bit more trusting to people, because she doesn't have many friends just because of the fact that she oh, where are we going?
I have no idea. This tends to happen.
You're good. She doesn't have that many friends because she just doesn't trust people. She's seen in the past through the events that happened to her master and all the events that I see she's been into since I've created her, to where she just does not really trust people because in the end they either end up trying to screw her over or stabbing her in the back when she really needs the help.
So, aside from WoW, what else are you into?
SWTOR majorly, which is Star Wars: The Old Republic. Then again, I've always been a bit of a sci-fi nerd. Apparently, when I was young, my mother, this is all according to my mother, I had an imaginary friend, and I would get very, very upset if she did not hold the door open for Luke Skywalker.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and apparently I also knew like all of Return of the Jedi by heart because my dad was like, "Yeah, you would sit there and say it word for word." And I'm going, "Well, that's somewhat interesting to know. Please don't bring that up to any future, you know, husbands or what have you. I'd appreciate it." And then I'm starting to dabble in Final Fantasy online, the Heavensward. I've just been playing Bard mostly because I really like hunters and rogues. I have to say those are like my two types of favorite classes because I like healing, but healing isn't necessarily my strong suit. And I like tanking, but I always feel like when I do tank, I'm doing something wrong.
Ah.
So I tend to go for more the range DPS or the melee DPS, mostly range though, because I don't like casters. I really don't. I've tried to like them and I just don't.
Damn casters, man.
No offense, Zorts. No offense. Just I don't know how you do it.
Well, first off, you're insinuating that how you have any experience doing instances and raids on this guy.
No, but you have 65 levels under your belt. That's what matters.
Yeah,
You can still go out there and punch a donkey.
or a gazelle,
Gazelles work
or a
better.
flamingo,
Or
which
that
I've been
tree
known
thing.
to do. There's evidence out there. So yeah, SWTOR, Black Star Incorporated.
Yep,
Yep,
that would be my guild, run by my Chiss agent.
yep. Not that I have anything to do with that guild whatsoever. No, not at all.
No, no.
No,
Not like
no.
I gave you a guild invite and kept pestering you to get on so I could give you one.
Yeah,
No,
you
never, never.
no. Of course, we're also, we got our friends Arker and the multi-talented DJ Chaos.
We've
Also,
also got quite a few wonderful people that I've got the chance to meet in game that, like me, dabble in quite a few games. And, you know, I'm grateful for that because that means I get to have people that, you know, actually want to spend time and do things. And I'm always up for that. I mean, that's why I have like a battle tag list of like 75 people. Ugh.
not even close. Not even close. Uh, so I mean, if you could pick one game to stick with for the rest of your and it's the only game, which would it be?
Oh, don't ask me this. Oh my God. That's honestly a hard question because I've played WoW for so long. Like I started back in Burning Crusade with my friend Crystal and her friend Jules, or rather her fiance now, Jules. Um, and they got us into the Jules got us into the game. We met we found out that Jules's mother, father, and grandmother all played WoW. So we were all in this little guild together on Blackhand. And it went from there because I've got a lot of strong memories in WoW. Like I've met so many wonderful people that have become amazing friends, and you're included in that. Drew's included in that. I mean, there's Jeff, there's Rev, there's Wolfie, there's Tenny, there's Kale, there's Killerless, there's Phil, there's I could go on like a proverbial list of all the amazing people I've gotten to know because of this game. And granted, I know it's had its downtimes because of RP community and what have you, but it stays the same because I have amazing friends. And this whole game is filled with some truly amazing people. So I'm kind of torn because I love WoW because of the connections I've made, and yet I love SWTOR because I'm a Star Wars nerd.
And just force choking people.
I know. Or,
Yeah, that's.
Shank Stabby, and I could actually stealth as a healer.
Mm,
That's that's some good shit right there.
yep.
So, ugh. Don't I guess right now
I can feel
I
your pain.
I know.
Release your anger.
I think my two standbys are just I can't really pick the one, so I'm gonna have to say it's WoW and SWTOR because I can't choose between the two. Because I've got childhood memories and then I have awesome friends, so I can't choose between those.
Alright. You also do some artsy stuffs, don't you?
I tend to dabble in the creation of things that are um hand drawn. Yes,
Yes, bigger than
I
stick
say
figures,
dabble.
too.
It depends on your perspective, but yeah, I think they're a little bit better than stick figures.
I can tell you they're better than stick figures because that's all I can draw.
Hey, don't diss stick figures. I have seen some like amazing animations where it's the stick figure fightings.
Oh, yes.
Those were like the best things ever, and I'm like, but it's stick figures, and yet I can't look away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's pretty snazzy stuff there. So how long you been doing the drawing?
Um, honestly, let's see. Oh, geez, now I get to show my age here.
You don't.
Since my, oh no, we're fine. I'm being sarcastic. Um, about my sophomore year in high school, so that was 12 years ago.
Hmm.
Oh, 13 more like 13, yeah, 13 years ago. And it was just starting out with watching like anime because at the time, pretty much the only things I had to choose between were Inuyasha, Sailor Moon, Cowboy Bebop, and Trigun. So those were the ones that got me
Starting to
hooked.
think I'm the only person left on the planet that doesn't like anime.
It was at a time where it was like brand new. It was fresh. It was something that wasn't Western made, and you got to see that with I know those were like older animes, but you got to see like the dedication put into like the actual animation instead of just, I mean, come on. You've seen like the old Justice League cartoons and dear
Yeah.
God, I'm not going to go into like how wonderful that animation was. But yeah, it was something new and I really got into the style of it. That's why all my characters seem to have that kind of resonance towards that, I guess is the word I want. Because that's what got me started on it was I watched anime and I'm like, I want to draw something like this. And it became, I want to draw this for my friend and I want to draw this for my friend. And they were so nice to put up with like the crappy, lopsided eyes and the hands that made absolutely no sense and were like 10 times bigger than the person's face. So yeah, everybody starts somewhere. Don't give up on your dreams, kids.
Yeah.
That was a
It's
shameless plug.
inspirational stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, thumbs up and everything.
What is this positivity? I'm not used to it. All right. You do the streaming with the arts, which is always cool because there's art and music. What's your favorite band?
It's got to be Cell Dweller. It's got to be Cell Dweller. He, I really got into Cell Dweller because he's one of the few artists I found where when he makes an album, he makes a story for the music, like a
Really?
literal story. And like, in fact, I think recently he came out with a book about one of his albums and the story that was actually behind it. So
Uh,
it's kind of cool.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'll have to send you the link. I mean, I haven't gotten it yet myself, but I've heard from a few other people that have read it. Like, you read the reviews on books, and they said it was really well done. So, hey, I'm game.
Yeah, you're always hitting me up with different like songs and artists and stuff. Some of which it's like some of which I dig, some of which I'm like, not my brand of whiskey.
Yeah,
But
I I honestly love every kind of music. About the only kind of music I really seem not to beautiful. I seem not to enjoy too much is country, and I mean, not because it isn't beautiful. There are some country songs that even to this day I'm like, that I remember this song. This song was amazing because the lyrics and this, that, and the other. But after a while, it just sounds all the same to me. Like you can only lose your dog, your wife, your truck so many times before it gets monotonous.
yeah, I mean, you notice you never lose the cat. The cat never, nothing ever happens to the fucking cat. It's
Yeah,
always the
because the cat
dog.
fucks off. The cat can take care of itself. It's like, I don't need you, bitch. I'm out. Then again, that's me.
Yeah, I could see you in your next life being a cat.
Yep.
Just kind
Yep.
of sitting there, like, lying in the sunbeam, and somebody, like, come here, kitty, and you're just like, oh, bite me and die, fucker.
It reminds me of that Geico commercial where the guy's like drowning in the quicksand and there's his cat and he's like, "Go get help, buddy." And the cat just ignores him.
Yup.
I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that. We're game."
Just sit there and be like, look, your whole purpose is to bring me food.
And that ain't happening.
And
So,
since you got yourself stuck in this shit, that's not happening. So why would I help you? I'll just find someone else to bring me food.
yeah, because everybody loves a cat, you know. Mostly everybody.
Well, I was
But I do like
I was trying to
cats.
time it that we would like just drive right straight onto the ship. We would have not though.
No, we would have ended up on the hull or in the water.
In the water, definitely in
Yeah.
the water. So,
I like this ship. I can't remember how many times I took this thing back in the day before flying was like everywhere. Back in my day.
back in my day when you had to run to level 40.
Hey, look, guys, I got my epic mount. And it's just, that mount that's like your level 40 mount. And
Yep.
everybody's like, oh, yeah.
And everyone's like, it's the epic mount. It's like now it's just like, yeah, I got my mount.
Yeah. Because now you can just buy them and be like, look at that.
Yeah, yeah. I never had to do that, grind, like, because by the time I, like, really started playing, like, Beyond, Off and On, all that shit had been, like, discounted, and you didn't have to sit there and grind out 40 million freaking quests for it, and listen to people
Yeah.
talk about how, oh, you kids today got it easy.
Or like the Warlock ones when you actually had to go and
Actually do the
do the
quests.
quests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember the class quests that WoW used to have. It's like they should. I kind of wish they'd bring those back a little.
Those were fun. I mean, I know some of them
like
seem
you actually
tedious,
like,
but
okay, you're a warlock, you need to do this, and you're a hunter, you need to do this, and you're a rogue, and you need to do this, and it's kind of like now it's like everybody's like collecting 10 bear asses and 4 whack off leaves, and everybody's like, I got a level, and there's like no real story outside of whatever zone you're in.
yeah, which is really disappointing. And like you were saying, I really wish they'd bring that back.
So
The story
that's,
quests are the
that's why I like
best.
Star Wars, because you got your class story, and then you got your zone story, and then you got all those stupid little side quests you can elect to do or not do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they even have somewhat something like that in Final Fantasy. It's like every 5 levels, starting, at level 5, then you go 10, 15, etc.
yeah,
You have a class quest, and it's actually like a whole separate storyline. It's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yep.
But
Well,
I still like WoW better, and SWTOR. Yeah,
well, I'm thirsty. You want to get a drink?
yeah. Let's get a drink.
Yeah. All right. So in closing, is there anything you want to promote, pimp out?
Not really. I just wanted to say I have about I want to say like 500 something viewers on my Tumblr, and I know most of that's from art, role play, story wise, and everything like that. But mostly to say thank you to you guys because I feel honored to even have that many people kind of interested in anything I do. And y'all are really amazing. To anybody that said, your art's amazing, what every artist doesn't want you to know is that everybody is capable of art. But just like with anything, you got to work on it or else it doesn't get better. So, in closing, thank you guys so much for supporting me. Thank you for being a friend. And thank you for being there when I really needed all of you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, we will. We're gonna go get a drink. We'll talk to you cats later.
Drinks on me.
Woohoo!